So this is a process video of how I paint my helmet. It's a bike helmet. I got it a few years ago. It's pretty cheap. It's like $30 something. I'm using acrylic paints. Also pretty cheap. I think I got it from Blick Art Material. That is a 99-cent paintbrush. I'm using the same brush for the entire painting. I used some alcohol to wipe down the helmet before I started painting on it. And I did a quick little sketch of a raven on there just so I know where to lay down the paint. Problem is, it started looking more like a crow as I continued painting. So let's say it's an in-between. It's part crow, part raven. Part making it up as I go along. So you could see I sped up the video a little bit. Probably 4 times speed. I didn't use any medium or anything. I just a little bit of water. And I use less and less. Towards the end, it's just paint. So I'm refining my drawing, quote unquote drawing. But so I have to figure out where everything goes. Trying to paint in between the air holes, or the speed holes, as I call them. I wish I could paint this fast in real life. This is just blocking it to paint. Sorry for all the noise. I've got some very inconsiderate neighbors. So you could see it coming along. You could see where the original eyeball is and where I ended up. It's just going to be 2 colors. The whole point of putting these designs on the helmet is just so people can notice me, because I need the attention so the cars don't run me over when I'm riding. Look at me! Okay, so the trick to painting feathers and things like that is to painting anything, really. It's to go in the direction of the feather, or the direction of the form. And since the feather's about the same size for everything, I figure I was going to use the same brush for everything. Now the beak is probably the most fun I had painting this thing. I've painted these birds so many times. I should know the difference between a raven and a crow. It's the shape of the beak. That's the difference. See, over here it kind of looks like a crow. Maybe it is a crow, I don't know. So I started putting a little bit more white paint. The white paint is more... this might be Winsor Newton, because I couldn't find my cheap white paint. But you can see the coverage is a little bit better than the black. Took a little pause there. Oh, you know what? 2 brushes. This is a different brush, but it's also very cheap. I think I got in one of those sets. Probably like 20 brushes for $8 or something. It's good for the kiddos. But it should never be about your tools. Because I've had these cheapy brushes for a long time, and I don't really take care of them anyways. I think I just rinse with some water and then put it away. I use them to dry brush and sculptures. Look at the slop. A little bit messy. I know it's not going to be too detailed because at the end, I don't remember recording it or not, but at the end I'll just flick some paint on it. You could use a toothbrush. I think I used a paintbrush. So yeah, here's some feather. I'm dry brushing it so you could see like little texturing. Little bit of texture using the white, and I'm going to go over it again with some black just so it doesn't stand out right now, because right now it looks like an old crow. Yo, crow. Watch a lot of Game of Thrones. So the thing with acrylic paints, they darken a little bit as they dry. Like watercolors lighten a little bit, acrylics darken a little bit. That's why oil paints are the king of paints. They stay pretty much the same unless you use crap paints. So this white I'm laying down, it's about pure white, which is too white. So I'm gonna have to go over it again with the little texturing, little cross hatching. Little spin action. Here I am going over it with black paint around the edges. I'm going to try to tone down some of that white paint because it's sticking out too much. So the camera I'm using, the lens is skewing it a little bit because I'm shooting pretty wide. If you could imagine it less wide. The head isn't as big, the beak is a little bit bigger. Again, I'm toning down the whites. I'm not trying to be too neat with this thing because I think the whole painting took about 25 minutes. When I'm done, I'll spray it with a crayon clear coat just to protect it a little bit, make it waterproof. I mean, it is waterproof already, but it won't scratch off as easy. Also, I'm going to erase some of those pencil marks that are left over from the beginning. Because that's the only neatness I care about. Okay, here's the finished product after I splashed it down with some white paint. That's the front of the helmet. I'm going to pan over to the back. The other side of the helmet is just a shattered robot. I mean, it looks happy. Look at that camera work, huh? Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.